Hey, good morning. I've got a 2017 Ram 1500 in the shop, dropped off last night. This truck has the 3.6 Pentastar engine, and it's presenting with p0304 misfire. Apparently this has been plaguing this customer for a long time. He's had it at a different shop. And I think they replaced spark plugs. Took a look at it. It still has the issue. And I guess list of stuff that's going on with this. Yeah, that cylinder 4 misfire. He did plugs. He did an oil change on this thing. And this, of course, would be variable valve timing engine. Full disclosure, this I found out last night, the customer states that he only got about 1 liter of oil dropped out of that engine. That's it was very low on oil, and he said it did run. It's been running rough, but and it's definitely idles rough, but he said that it ran a lot better as he was driving it over here. I looked at this just preliminarily, looked at this truck a week or two ago, and I believe the fuel pressure was, it has a performance code on the fuel pressure, and it was commanded at about 59. I think his actual was about 52 pounds. Could be a plug filter, could be just the pumps wearing down. I'm not too awful concerned about that here to start with. I do want to chase this cylinder 4 misfire and see if we can figure that out. Yeah, there was a code for torque request denied, and I'm not sure if that's related to the p0304 or the low oil issue. Maybe the VVT system is not working properly. And he said the Ecolite was not coming on. I don't believe this 3.6 is of a multiple displacement cutout type engine. I think that Ecolite just pertains to where you're at, maybe on your throttle position. I'm gonna have to maybe do a little bit more research on that. Anyway, I'll bring you along, and we'll start into some diag on this. Hi, Sparks. So there's some of our codes here. So yeah, cylinder 4 misfire, multiple cylinder. We got the bank 2 camshaft position sensor, 2 of 2, circuit intermittent. Not sure what's up really with that. Torque request denied. Yeah, and then the rest of that really doesn't matter here today. So I think I'm going to start by clearing out these codes, and then see what actually comes back on this. Getting there, brakes. It's a lot of modules, like, oh, there we go. Okay, do that code scan again. Probably gonna have to start the engine and let it do its thing here just to see what comes back current. I'll check back with you here in a minute. Okay, I just pulled into some live data, and as you can see here, cylinder 4 is actively misfiring right now, and the rest of them seem to be okay. So that's definitely what we're chasing. I think we need to start there and figure that one out. Yeah, let's just reset the counter there. Okay, I'll check back in with you at my next step. I'll just check the oil here just before we get started. Oh boy. Okay, well, he said he just changed the oil. I'm gonna have to get a hold of the customer here and see how much oil he added, I guess, because it's maybe only like, you know, half or 3/4 of a liter low, but better find that out, because if it was actually up to the full mark, there's probably no point in doing a lot of diagnostics here. I'll hopefully get a hold of the customer here and figure that out, get a little oil added, and we can move forward from there. I found out where his oil is going, I guess. So I'm going to just change gears for a few minutes. I'm going to try and get in there with some degreaser, some brake clean the surfaces up, and see if I can't figure out where the leak is originating. I'd kind of assume it would be the pan gasket here, but it's pretty hard to tell at this moment. So I've got the oil pan kind of cleaned off. I'm just letting it run for a bit, see if I can see any witnesses of where the leak is coming from there. And just while it's running, I just noticed there's a lot of, it's not that cold in this shop, and we got quite a bit of smoke coming out the exhaust. So I think I'm maybe gonna check for do a hydrocarbon test or something, just see if maybe we have a little bit of coolant leaking in there. As soon as I get it back on the ground, I'll check the coolant level as well. So I've got a back probe here on the harness for the hidden injectors and coil. I've checked, and I have control on both of those. Okay, I just checking the resistance on the, I guess I'm on the, let me see here, pin. I'm on a known good injector. So this is injector number 2, and it's reading about 14 ohms, which seems to be good. I'm just going to move the leads over to the cylinder 4, which is in question. And here is cylinder 4, and it is ohming out at 45 ohms. So that seems to be out of spec to me. I'm thinking we maybe have some higher resistance in a coil here for on the injector for number 4. I got my digital camera in and took a look around the filter housing here. As I have researched, apparently this is a very common thing on these 3.6 Pentastars, is that the oil filter cap gets over tightened, and it's plastic down here, and on the cooler and that it ends up with a crack or fatigue and starts leaking. And with my camera I could actually see a lot of oil pooling down there, so that appears to be what's leaking out. That gave me the impression it might have been the rear main leaking on this, so we're gonna have to pull off the upper and lower intake and get to the cooler and replace that. And so I'll try and do a bunch of this stuff all at the same time here to save some labor. Okay, I just performed a compression test. Cylinder 2 is here, cylinder 4 is there. The number 4 is the one we're having the problem on. Compression was about 160 psi on both cylinders, so that's great. I don't have to open the valve cover to take a look inside of there. It if the injector that I'm going to change with the high resistance here, if that isn't the whole problem, I did come across something else. So when I got the intake off, I noticed that everything had a OEM coil except for cylinder 4, and I see written on there it says Blue Streak, so probably aftermarket junk. So if I do have a problem after the injector is changed, this coil could be contributing to the problem. I'm not a fan of aftermarket for this kind of thing, so I have moved it over to cylinder 1. That's easy to get to. If we have a problem after this repair, that's definitely what I'm going to be going after. So I'm going to change out the oil cooler filter assembly right now. There's a couple connectors at the back of it that had to come off, and one coolant hose. I'm going to pull the bolts, pull it out, try and clean up some of the area, and install the new one. Another thing that's worth mentioning here, I noticed that when I pulled these couple spark plugs out to do the compression test, they were barely, and I mean barely, finger tight. Torque spec, I believe, is 13 foot-pounds on these spark plugs, so I'm going to pull all the coils out, every one of them, and check the torque on them. It appears that they were not tightened up quite tight enough, and we want to get this right. Okay, I got everything back together here, and it appears like, just looking at the misfire counters here right now, zero, 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 zero. Should be good. Let's take this thing for a test drive and ship it. Thanks so much for watching. God bless.